One day, the king of the empire woke up from his sleep not feeling like a king. Despite being surrounded by riches and treasures, despite having 10 wives and living in the best castle in the world, the king still didn't feel like a king. That's why he decided to go to his advisor and ask him for help. He said to him, "I don't feel like a king. What can I do more to become a king?" The advisor thought about it a little bit and advised his king, "My lord, maybe you don't feel like a king because you haven't conquered enough land." And the king decided to do exactly that. He called up his army and he started a war against the neighbor empire. After many months of blood, sweat and tears and many sacrifices, the king conquered the neighbor empire and finally felt like he's a king. But after some time, it passed. He was still not feeling like a king. That's when he thought to himself, maybe I need more love in my life. Maybe I need more wives. From 10 wives, I'm going to have 30 wives. He went into the city and he took the wives of the poor people of his nation. He thought that this is what he was missing. This is why he was not feeling like a king. But after some time, this also passed. And this king, out of desperation, he was struggling so much to feel like a king that he decided to make a feast for his nation. He was going to feed everybody on the streets and invite them all in his castle, provide them with wine and with the best food from all places in the world. He did that, and it was one amazing night. Everybody loved him. His nation was under his feet. He felt like he is the best king in the world. But unfortunately, this also passed. The king started to get sick. He was never being able to feel like he's a king. He started going on the streets, looking down at his feet, looking sad and in pain. And one beggar approached him and he said, "My lord, what is wrong with you? You look not like yourself." And the king normally wouldn't respond to just a beggar. But this time he decided to share his pain. He said, "No matter what I do, I don't feel like a king. What can I do more to have this feeling go away from me and to finally feel like a king?" The beggar thought about it a little bit and gave him a very direct advice. He told him, "My lord, next time you go in the castle, find one mirror and look at yourself for 5 minutes and just remember who you are." You may think that this story is not very relatable, but the story of the king is in each and every one of us. There is a common epidemic nowadays of people not feeling good enough. But just like the king, there is nothing on the outside world that is going to make you feel good enough. The only place where the change starts is inside. The only way you can finally feel good enough again is not to acquire the status, the fame, the attraction, the money, the success. The only way to feel good enough is to remember that this is your internal state. This is how you feel in the first place. This is how you came into this world. And everything else on the outside world, it doesn't matter, or at least it doesn't affect your value as a person. But yet that's what most people try to do. They try to fill the void that they have inside of them with money, with partners, with fame, with popularity, with success, with cars, with houses. And after some time passes, just like the king, it's never good enough. It is like trying to fill a cup with a hole on the bottom with water. It will never work out because the cup is broken. You are the cup. Are you going to address the issue inside of you? Or you're just going to try to fill more and more and more water? There are out there people in the world with the success that you want, with the money that you want, with the fame that you want, who still don't feel good enough. Isn't this enough evidence for you to believe that maybe there is something internal going on? It's not so much about what you have, and it's not so much about what you do. It's about who you are. And I'm not going to get tired of repeating this. People believe that they are what they do, or they are what they have, But people should realize to base their value on who they are. And every one of us has infinite value as a person. I know it may sound crazy to you. You may argue, yeah, this guy is poor, yes, this guy is stupid. But these things are outside factors. If you're unemployed, you're just an amazing person who is unemployed. You shouldn't let your thoughts, feelings, and situation in life define who you are. You get anxious thoughts all the time. You go in a social situation where you feel fearful, and then you identify yourself with these thoughts. And this is where the problem comes. No, you're not an anxious person just because you have anxious thoughts. You are an amazing person who has anxious thoughts. The same way when you feel fear, you are not a fearful person. You're not a pussy, like they say. You're just an amazing fucking person who experiences fear. What you need to do when you struggle with this problem is to let go of what is stopping you from being yourself. It's not so much to gain. It's more than to unlearn, to undo, to remove the resistances. I always give this example with a car. The tire is flat, it's broken. No matter how much gas you're going to put in the car, no matter what kind of spoiler you're going to put, or nitro, or fuel, or I don't know, the best engine, if your tire is flat, you're not moving fast enough. Instead of putting a new spoiler, new gas, new engine, you can just fix the tire and then just go. The same way is with you. You don't feel good enough, not because you don't have enough money, enough girls, enough status. It's because there is something that is stopping you from being good enough. And this is where the real work begins. Letting go of the restrictions of being you, of being good enough. You need to understand that you're good enough to begin with. And every single thing that is coming after that, all of your doubtful thoughts and feelings, they're bullshit. We need to dive deep into these feelings and emotions and thoughts and let them go. How to let go, in simple terms, is by accepting these emotions and thoughts. And by accepting, we let them run their course and finally get out of us forever. People nowadays play this game where you need to gain more money, more status, everything more, in order to feel good enough, in order to fill the voids inside of them. But I can tell you, with my whole heart, the best way to win at this game is to not play it at all.